Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Today is the 8th of January, 2020. I produced the show yesterday, and I put it on the shelf. I didn't release it. Well, I'm going to release it. I'm going to release it as part of this video. I'm going to tack it on to the end of this video here so you guys can watch it, the show I released yesterday about Iran and them developing nuclear weapon. But here's the thing. I produced that video before I had knowledge of the attack that occurred last night, yesterday, on two different American bases based in Iraq. So anyway, I was giving my opinion on, and that video is still relevant today, is as relevant as it was yesterday, so I'm going to let you guys watch it. Your Bitcoins went up quite a little bit, and of course, now I think we're seeing it settle off a little bit, but nothing goes up in a straight line, guys. This situation with Iran, it's been brewing for a long time. And my opinion, really, honestly, is not changing on it. I think that Iran and North Korea need to behave themselves. It's like, what was his name? Austin Powers. He said, "Oh, behave." They need to behave themselves. What do they need nuclear weapons for? Why can't they fit in with the world community? Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to release the video for you guys. You guys have a great day. Thank you for tuning into my channel, and we'll catch you again very, very soon. And here's the video. Stay tuned. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Listen, I'm glad to have you here. Listen, today, I want to talk about two things. One, Bitcoin's starting to go up, guys. But I'm going to talk about something else. I'm going to give my unbiased opinion about Iran. And I'm going to tell you, when I say unbiased, I'm not taking sides. Not on the side of the left. I'm not on the side of the right. I couldn't care less about the left or the right. Just give my opinion straightforward for what it is. Okay? Starting right here, what I want to say is Iran is obviously like a nest of hornets that's been shooken. You ever shake a nest of hornets? That's what it's like right now. They're upset. But at the same time, I think a realization is dawning on them that America's not to be trifled with. Okay? I think they got a realization, hey, you know what? I think they got a new... but that being besides the point, what's going to happen from all this situation? What's the repercussions? There's always repercussions from everything. And I'll tell you what I think the repercussions are going to be. I think the Iranians are going to go back home and they're going to start those machines up that enrich uranium, and they're going to start enriching uranium as fast as they possibly can at this point. I think that's what you're going to find is what they're doing over there. They're mad, and they're enriching uranium as fast as they can. That's my guess on the situation. Okay, so let's take a look now. Let's get the charts open right here and take a look at what's going on. This machine right here. It's a machine. Right here. If you don't know what you're looking at is a metal ball. It's basically a metal sphere that's been bolted together, the pieces of it. They create like 6 pieces, and they've bolted the pieces together with bolts in a thick metal. And what those round things on it are explosive devices. set off to all go off simultaneously at the same time. They're charges of just regular explosive, okay? But they explode inwards on the ball. In other words, each one of them goes off at exactly the same time, and it explodes inwards, and it creates a tremendous internal explosion. That's an inwards explosion instead of an explosion where most explosions go outwards. This creates an explosion that goes inwards and creates immense pressure at the core of this ball. Well, what's at the core of this ball, you might ask? What's at the core of the ball is enriched uranium. What you're looking at is something called Gadget. It was America's first atomic bomb that they created themselves, called Gadget, and they put it on the top of a tower. See them hoisting it up on the tower right here, right? And this was the result. Okay? So the steel ball itself is not all that complex. You just make a steel ball, and you basically put explosive charges around the ball, and they're all set off to go off simultaneously, creating that immense internal pressure. What's the complicated? That's not that complicated, right? What's complicated is getting the enriched uranium to put in the core of this thing. That's the complicated part. Now, there's another part to all of this. The next part to all of this is the missiles itself that deliver this. Okay, so here's a chart of Iranian-built missiles. And there's two we're interested in here. Really interested in. These two big ones here. These two great big ones. The Shahab and the Sejjil, Sejjil or whatever. Sejjil and Shahab. Those are the two we're interested in because they can carry a very large warhead. Okay? So now let's take a closer look at these two. One is the Shahab 3. Okay? It's an Iranian missile, and we're going to take a closer look at it. It says Shahab 3 is a medium-range ballistic missile developed by Iran and based on the North Korean Nadong. The Shahab 3 has a range of 1,000 kilometers. A variant of this missile can now reach 2,000 kilometers. So it can go 2,000 kilometers, which is roughly 1,200 miles. So it says it can hit targets as far away as Israel, Egypt, Romania, Bulgaria, and Greece. So it can hit targets as far away as that. Now let's take a look at this missile more closely here. This missile is an Iranian missile manufactured in Iran. Its diameter is 1.2 meters, or 3 feet 11 inches in diameter. It's capable of carrying a warhead that weighs 2,600 pounds, so a warhead that's nearly the weight of a car. Okay? Now, let's go back here and take a look. This is what the warhead would be. Possibly. Now, this is just in my mind. It's in my opinion only. But if their factories can create this right here, which is quite a complex machine, right? Why couldn't their factories create a steel ball? And we already know they're enriching uranium. Okay? So that's the Shahab 3. Now, the next one is the Sejjil, Sejjil, I guess it's called. And it's another one that's created in Iran. And it is Sejjil, Persian, the Quranic word meaning baked clay. So this is called baked clay, this missile. It's an Iranian solid-fueled missile, medium-range ballistic missile. And evidently it's capable of traveling some considerable distance. Operational range, well, let's get a closer look at this. The operational range is 2,500 kilometers. And in its hybrid mode, it can travel 4,500 kilometers. So it travels at a speed of Mach 14. Mach 14, that's 14 times the speed of sound it travels at. And it has an accuracy of only 20 meters. So it'll hit a target that's just 20 meters off this way or that way, you know. So that's very precision. It says it's a precision-guided hypersonic strategic missile. Capable of traveling 4,500 kilometers away. And it can carry a warhead. The whole missile weighs 22 tons. And it can carry a warhead up to 1,500 kilograms, or something like around 3,500 pounds size warhead. So, see, Iran's got two of these missiles that they're creating, two of these huge missiles, and they're both medium range, but they can, I mean, that could travel 4,500 kilometers. That's like, what, almost 3,000 miles away. You know, that could reach an awful lot of different countries over there in the Middle East, or even further west in the Middle East. So, this is what I think Iran's up to right now. I think they're over there enriching uranium as fast as they can. That's just my opinion on it, because they're as mad as hornets, you know? So we gotta watch out for Iran. That's my opinion only, you know? Now, I know there's a lot of people out there who say, well, you know, I'm going to give you my opinion. What does the Western world want of North Korea and Iran? What do we want? Over in the West, what do we want? We just want them to frickin' behave themselves. That's all we want. We want them to fit in with the rest of the world and to behave themselves. North Korea and Iran. That's what we want. That's all we want. And we want them to behave themselves. That's my opinion only, you know? Then we wouldn't have to worry about this stuff. We could trade with them. You know? And their countries would improve. Their lifestyles would improve. We just want them to behave themselves. Anyway, moving on today. We have got a raise in the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going up. It doesn't surprise me any. The amount of money that they're printing out there right now, guys, they're going nuts. They are quite literally, they've printed $21 trillion that they're holding in escrow someplace. Catherine Austin Fitts and Dr. Mark Skidmore discovered this, and it's real. $21 trillion they've created. And they're out there right now. The Fed has got this repo operation going, and they're talking about making it a permanent thing where they're putting out like $100 billion every night here and $100 billion there. This is making all these rich people so rich, so unbelievably rich you cannot imagine. But it's also creating an erosion of the confidence in the dollar. And I'm going to tell you what, confidence is everything. Back in the 1970s, we had a little loss of confidence in the purchasing power of the dollar, and we saw 1970s inflation. We're not seeing that big inflation right now, but there's so many more dollars out there than there was in the 1970s. The dollar there's so many more printed. That's because the whole thing is a confidence game. It's all about confidence. Once confidence starts to be lost, and it's going to be soon, then we're going to enter into a period where it's called the acceleration phase. It's a lead-in period to hyperinflation. And that is it's written exactly what that acceleration phase is all about. It's written already. You can look it up on the internet. Acceleration phase to hyperinflation. It's when inflation hits 50% per year. Well, we're not there yet. You know, if you go to a site called Shadow Stats, you can find the real inflation rate right now. And it's not 50% yet. But we're going to get to 50%, probably within a year or 2 years at the most. And then we're going to enter into the acceleration phase. And the acceleration phase can last from a few months to about 2 years long. It varies. It can just be a few months long, or it can be up to 2 years long. But the end outcome of the acceleration phase, when it reaches its final conclusion, is hyperinflation. Hyperinflation will destroy everything. But it's going to take a while for us to get there yet, because we got to get to the acceleration phase first. And we can get to that acceleration phase pretty fast with what they're doing right now. Okay? So, during this period, starting now, through the acceleration phase, the economy could actually speed up a little bit. Because when the acceleration phase starts, we're going to see an acceleration in the velocity of money. This means people are going to start spending more. They're going to come to the realization that money isn't what it's cracked up to be, and that we better spend it before it's worth less. And they'll start spending faster and faster. This will pick up the economy. For the first time since 2008, the economy will pick up. That's a danger signal, guys. Because the hyperinflation will destroy everything, including the economy. So that's the danger point. You know what to look for. Listen. Thank you guys for listening to this show. When the velocity of money starts to pick up, we start to go into the acceleration phase, that's when you're going to see Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies actually start to more than just take off as a speculative investment, but become a secure safe haven asset. And the other cryptocurrencies, not Bitcoin and Litecoin, but the other ones, that are really good for transmitting money, will start to take off too, and they're going to be used more as money, more to transfer value, because they're faster. They can enable more transactions per second than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's only 7 transactions per second, but Bitcoin does have the Lightning Network. I think you're going to see Bitcoin and Litecoin used as a store of value, where people actually use them as savings in the future. Time's coming real fast. Hyperinflation, when it destroys the economy, they're going to all reach out to gold, silver, and cryptos. We're going to see all the value of everything transfer over into gold, silver, and cryptos. It's going to be an amazing time, but it's also going to be a desperate time. And, if we can just get these countries to behave themselves, that's all we want. We don't want them. We don't want them we just want them to behave. Bye-bye, guys.